It is important to remember that while we revere Joseph Smith as a prophet of God, this is not the Church of Joseph Smith, nor is it the Church of Mormon. This is the Church of Jesus Christ. He decried exactly what his church should be called. Quote, "For thus shall my church be called in the last days, even the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints."
Travis Wayne did so. I'm saving the first of the videos. We're going to continue on with the Mormon reply and do further comment reply videos. It's been a long time since I've done comment reply videos. Mormons, for the most part, have learned to keep their mouth shut. Mormons don't know Mormonism. So this video is going to cover the part where, let me bring it up on the screen. Gray Shadow Mare makes the first comment. The church changed its name to incorporate Jesus Christ's name into it. This is incorrect. The Joseph Smith papers are online, specifically forcing Mormons to look it up, as the church will not change it in their scriptures so that Mormons can have quick, easy access and corrected information. Joseph Smith founded the church with the name the Church of Christ. I hope everybody knows that. Notice it's not Jesus. Notice we're supposed to be the learning of the Jews. 1 Nephi chapter 1 verse 2. If you don't know this, you don't know Mormonism. And so, in 1834, May 3rd, 1834, in Kirtland, Ohio, in the Joseph Smith Papers, josephsmithpapers.org/paper-summary-minutes-3-May-1834/1 number full-transcript. And let me read it for you, so that you may understand properly the proper administrative procedure for changing the name of the church. Minutes of a conference of the elders of the church, which church was organized in the township of Fayette, Seneca County, New York. They keep putting Fayette. That is hilarious. It was Manchester. They keep saying, nope, way over here. But then, oops, we put baptisms in Manchester. Oops. It's those little things that you have to pay attention to. Seneca County, New York, on 6th of April, AD 1830. So notice, Church of Christ. The conference came to order, and Joseph Smith Jr. was chosen moderator. See what they did there? He was chosen moderator. And Frederick G. Williams and Oliver Cowdery were appointed clerks. After prayer, the conference proceeded to discuss the subject of names and appellations when a motion was made by Sidney Rigdon. We don't do this in the church, do we? And seconded by Newell K. Whitney, that this church be known hereafter by the name of the Church of the Latter-day Saints. Appropriate remarks were delivered by some of the members. The rest were inappropriate. After which the motion was put by the moderator and passed by unanimous vote. You catch that? In section 107, verse 27, and every decision made by either of these quorums, they're only referring to two, there were more, but any quorum, must be by the unanimous voice of the same. That is, every member in each quorum must be agreed to its decisions in order to make their decision of the same power or validity one with another. Do you see what's going on here? Do you see the administrative process and procedure for making a change in the church? Resolved that this conference commenced to the conferences and churches abroad. Recommended to the... Yeah, did I say that? It's early in the morning. That in making out and transmitting minutes of their proceedings, such minutes and proceedings be made out under the above title. See what they did here? Resolved that these minutes be signed by the moderator and clerks and published in the Evening and the Morning Star. So, another confirmation. Because that also is available for us to confer and acknowledge that such was the case. So Joseph Smith Jr., Frederick G. Williams, Oliver Cowdery. Do you understand this process and procedure? Are you clear on how the church was to be run? Now, let's go to section 115. And I'll try to remember to put the clip by Russell M. Nelson. Verily thus saith the Lord unto you, my servant Joseph Smith Jr., and also my servant Sidney Rigdon, and also my servant Hiram Smith, and your counselors who are and shall be appointed hereafter, and also unto you, my servant Edward Partridge, and his counselors. This is April 26, 1838, in Far West, Missouri. And also unto my faithful servants who are of the high council of my church in Zion. High council? Well, it's obviously the stake high council. For thus it shall be called. Church in Zion? For thus it shall be called? Interesting. And unto all the elders of and people of my Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, scattered abroad in all the world. See, Travis, we are Christian. Jesus is our Christ. You're not listening to my videos talking about the historical context. The Danites within the church that were converted in to infiltrate, to overthrow, and and take over. Oh, the video is saved. Yippee-ki-yay. It's one of those days. Alright. Okay. Alright. And so here again, for thus shall my church be called in the latter days. You see what's going on? My church in Zion, for thus it shall be called. But then, my church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, for thus my church shall be called in the latter days. Even the church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You see what is different here? Do you see what is missing from proper administrative process and procedure that President Russell M. Nelson got up at the pulpit of conference and said as his justification? There was no vote taken. Nobody even raised the hand, and there was no unanimous vote. Do I need to go back to section 107 for you? The proper process and procedure for changing the name of the church is as given. Notice Sidney Rigdon, after Joseph Smith is assassinated, named his church the original name, the Church of Christ. And so, even though he was the one who raised the point, let's discuss and vote on a name change, and he agreed to the Church of Latter-day Saints, went back to the original Church of Christ. Didn't go with Brigham Young, by the way. So what does that make Nelson? It makes Nelson a fulfillment of prophecy. That's what this is. Because it was not done properly. So this is not the name of the church. Shall. And even my church in Zion is a prophecy. And I've been telling you this over and over and over in various videos. Jesus Christ is an abomination in the sight of the personage who appeared to Joseph Smith in the first vision. That was created by Constantine. The Danites were the Mormons who demanded and insisted that the name be changed to the Church of Jesus Christ, and even of Latter-day Saints. Joseph Smith knew by 1838 that he was going to be murdered. He knew of the plot to murder him. He knew of the Danites. Section 117. Because the church claims they decoded everything in the Doctrine and Covenants. So everything is no longer encoded. Verse 11. Let my servant Newell K. Whitney be ashamed of the Nicolaitan band. Who the hell are they? You go to 11a as the footnote. Revelation chapter 2 verse 6. It's directly taken from there. So there's a modern Nicolaitan band that has been in existence since John's book of Revelation was written? Or it's code. You know, like Nelson did. Babylon Band. It's the Danites. And of all their secret abominations. And of his littleness of soul before me. And then we get into some other names. Abominable. Oh, that's not decoded. What about verse 8? Is there not enough room on the mountains of Abominable and on the plains of Olaha Shinha? Or the land where Adam dwelt? Oops, Bruce, you made a boo-boo. Bruce, in his Mormon doctrine, says that Adam on Diamond is translated from Egyptian into the land where Adam dwelt. Nope, Shinha is. Or Olaha Shinha. Oops. And so why didn't they decode this? Why did they keep it in? Because Shinha and other locations were decoded as Kirtland, Ohio. Why didn't they put Kirtland here? And so, yeah, the Danites, the Nicolaitan band of secret abominations, Helaman chapter 6, 22 to 24, were the ones who were trying to overthrow the church and make it a Christian church. Why a Christian church? I keep explaining this to you. They want to destroy Christianity. They know Constantine's a fraud. They know Jesus Christ is a fraud. Constantine, at the Council of Nicaea, gathered the bishops together, saying, I will not give you financial support for your congregations if you do not come to this meeting, if you do not unite as one body. Rome had been trying to genocidally murder all the people in the Middle East. And for 300 years they were failing. There were over 100 churches, separate, distinct, different beliefs, different Christs, different names for that Christ. What we have in the Bible is a collection of the various different apocalyptic literatures that were written. Book of Revelation is apocalyptic literature. And so Constantine got them all together, said, you will become one. No more division, one. He said, I saw a sign in the heavens, I am supposed to unite you. They all fell for it. Well, they kind of had to. They were financially extorted. They kicked out the Arians of Marcion, called him anathema, right there in the creed. And I believe he was the one who used Luke, but edited it for his own belief system. And you'll notice that there are different gods in each of the 4 Gospels that were allowed to be put into our New Testament. Like I said, there were over 100. And the Old Testament contains other Gospels. Gospel of Samson, for example. That's a different name than Jesus, but the exact same type of literature. Constantine said, I'm going to select the character named Jesus to be the Christ, and created a brand new word. Created it out of nothing. Creatio ex nihilo. This will be the nature and character of Jesus of these particular documents. And you'll notice that Matthew screws it all up. Isaiah prophesies that his name shall be Son God, Emmanuel. Not God with us. That's an anachronism. But nonetheless, Constantine also said he's also historical. He's no longer apocalyptic literature fiction. He's now a historical character. He was real, he lived, he was resurrected on the Roman cross, etc. That was Constantine. And to prove he was right, he did a tour of the Israel and said, this is where he was born, this is where he was dead, this is where he was buried, etc. That's the origin of Christianity. And that's what the Danites were seeking to destroy. And if you're unfamiliar with the Danites, they were from the Illuminati. How do we know this? John C. Bennett, oops, was a part of the Danites. The Danites recruited him. He was with Joseph Smith in his council until he got caught. Joseph Smith had him excommunicated for adultery. You can't practice polygamy. It's against the law. The Danites were practicing polygamy under the nose of Joseph Smith, without him knowing, behind his back. The Danites were causing fights with the neighbors and claiming Joseph Smith was in charge of this. They're claiming Joseph Smith is in charge of polygamy, and Joseph Smith approved of it to all the women that they had sex with and had become spiritual wives with. All behind the back of Joseph Smith, but he knew of it. And he was condemning those he knew were a part of it. There was the Mormon War, if you might be familiar with that. That was election fraud. The Danites tried to overturn an election. Hey, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Yeah, they threatened the sheriff and threatened the judge, having them write a signed document, because there were 150 people to one, to sign that Joseph Smith is the one who threatened them. We can confirm that it wasn't Joseph Smith because Joseph Smith was not even in the town. He was in another town too far away, and we have documentation of him in that town on the day that he supposedly was there threatening the judge and the sheriff to say that he was responsible. They personally deceived to frame Joseph. Why? To overthrow the church. Brigham Young used section 115 to change the name of the church in the mission field in Europe, telling everybody out there in Europe, oh, the name of the church is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, getting all those converts. And so Joseph Smith would not go away, stay locked up in jail. So they murdered him. John Taylor, Willard Richards, from Brigham Young's 12, of whom Joseph Smith called Judas. The 12, Brigham, Judas, he knew. They murdered him, took his church, changed the name. Came to Utah because they sort of burnt the bridges out there in the United States. Created the Kingdom of Deseret and started talking about overthrowing American government. That's why polygamy is necessary. You get more babies quicker. And the more babies you get, the more men for an army to go up against the United States of America. Joseph Smith? Nope, he wanted a place of Zion for Mormons to be safe and to protect America and the Constitution. So Benson? Yeah. Not saved in Washington, huh? Joseph is going to be wrong? Yeah. Because the name is a prophecy here. Because that's the name they wanted it to be called. Albert Pike, a Scottish Rites Illuminati. Same with Brigham Young and Heber C. Kimball. John C. Bennett confirms this. Because after he's excommunicated, after Joseph is dead, he goes out to Beaver Island with James Strang and his religion of Mormons. He does try to implement polygamy. He's kicked out of the group. James Strang is murdered. What? Mormons who don't believe in polygamy? That's strange. And they were ones who were following Joseph Smith even. Huh. Strange. Those Strangites are strange. Go figure. But nonetheless, he formed, there on Beaver Island, that little Christian group of Joseph Smith's branch off, a Halcyon Order of the Illuminati. Where did he get that from? I thought the Illuminati was a fraud, a conspiracy theory misdefined. They don't exist anymore. They're not around. Their symbol of the inverted pentagram is not on the Nauvoo temple that was dedicated on the anniversary of the Illuminati. It's not on the headquarters keystone of the temple in Salt Lake City, nor on the Logan temple, nor on his son's built, sculpted Eagle Gate there on State Street for everybody who's going up to the Capitol to see that the church controls the government here in Utah. Not that inverted pentagram. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? That's a sign of the Illuminati, guys. The ones seeking to overthrow America and the world. And Albert Pike, in his letter to Giuseppe Mazzini, says we're going to overthrow the world and we're going to destroy Christianity once and for all after all these millennia. And this is how we're going to do it. We are going to fulfill biblical prophecy of the latter days with the scientific star dates given in John's Revelation. Let all Christians get their hopes up, change their beliefs to such ridiculousness that they will put us in power to destroy them, and know Jesus will come to save them. And then the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints will come out as full Luciferian to take over the world. And for that exposure that I did, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, ordered by the prophets, destroyed me. Any questions?